Hey, it's another day. I didn't mean to rhyme, but maybe I did. Anyway, we have Nando in the house. Hey, he's got the hat. The hat is back, my friends. You know what? I need a hat. I need a. Oh, check this out. No. Okay, no. Nando's like, what are you doing, bro? Anyway, we are coming off of a fantastic card, UFC 281. Nando, what's before we want to cover the main card recap because it was such a monumentous card and some thrilling outcomes. What was your overall feeling of that fight card 281?
I thought really the point of it was the challengers are getting better. Most of the challengers in these, besides the Dustin Poirier, I think Chandler was the challenger in that one, but most of the challengers won. The people that needed to win won in great fashion, all the way from the bottom of the and some of the hypes got stopped and some of the hypes went, like Molly Meatball. That was a pick that we saw coming, but you never know.
I do, yeah. Let's touch on that one. We'll start that. She wasn't on the main card, but we had Eldridge versus McCann and the Meatball, and she's coming off a lot of hype with the previous fights, spinning back fist knockout, a couple of finishes. Coming in, riding with Patty Pimblett, getting all kinds of notoriety, especially in the UK. And she got decimated and dominated from the get. What was your thoughts on that?
I don't know. I like I said, EBI is no joke. That girl was no joke, and they weren't giving her an easy fight. But stylistically, I think she should have stood her ground a little more. And yeah, she's got to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
she's got a lot of hype. People love her. She's gonna be one of those people like a Nate Diaz, like a Conor McGregor, one of those people that, well, not that high, but I mean someone that people are gonna want to see no matter what.
Well,
She can probably rattle off some losses and still be favored.
one thing that I notice about Molly is when she fights, especially in this fight, she becomes like beet red. Man, her head looked like a tomato, but her skin goes like really red, and I think that's kind of interesting. But I noticed it in previous fights, but this fight in particular, when she was in that crucifix getting pounded on, that head was red. And there I go rhyming again. But let's move on. So the card, we're going to start with the Dan Hooker, Claudio Puelles fight. And I picked Claudio, and Dan Hooker proved me wrong, man. He looked like $1 million in there. What's your thoughts?
I think Dan Hooker's good. He's getting out of this slump. He started it off. I don't think he started off. He was the third of their camp to fight, because it was Brad Rydell, and then I don't remember the other guy's name. But yeah, he went in there. He did what he was supposed to do. He's back to the weight class he was originally at. So we got to see what goes forward for him. He was loose out there. He wasn't as nervous as he normally is.
Yeah, and he had a good range. He kept his range, didn't get crazy, and just picked. He made Claudio quit. I mean, I don't think he really hurt him. I think he broke him. I think he broke him down, and Claudio didn't look very good in that fight, trying to go for the leg, and when Dan was looking at him when he had that leg lock off, and Dan's like, bro, what are you doing, man? That's when Claudio knew. That's when I think he broke Claudio, because he's just like, I got him in this vicious leg lock, but he's not even reacting. So I'm probably going to lose this fight. And then the next one, oh my gosh, what a heartbreaker. We had Frankie Edgar versus Chris Gutierrez. And I did pick Chris. I think, did you pick Did you pick Frankie?
No, I shamed you. I told you you should be with your boy and support him, and you did it. It made me really sad to see him lose like that.
It was heartbreaking, but that just goes to show you that it is his time. You know, I think if you're going to retire, you want to go out with a win. I mean, that's the best case scenario. But ooh, that was brutal.
I think that seldom happens, though. A guy's last fight, they win.
Yeah,
I,
I think he's going to be a heck of a coach, though. You know, he did say he's going to stay in the game, coaching and mentoring and doing all that kind of stuff. And what better? I'd love to have Frankie Edgar if I was a young up and coming fighter to get his knowledge. You know, because he was a champ and he was a, you know, just a great asset to the UFC. So hats off to Mr. Edgar. Sorry for the knockout, bro, but you'll be back in various other ways. Let's move up. We've got the big one that even Dana White called the fight of the night before it even happened. And we have Dustin Poirier versus a Michael Chandler. And who was your pick on that one?
Chandler. And Chandler did pretty good. I mean, I know there's a lot of controversy, you know, Dustin calling him a cheater and a dirty fighter. But I don't think that was all his fault. You know, I think him putting his hand in his mouth, you know, that was kind of dirty. But the bleeding, I don't think he meant to bleed all over Dustin's face. That was pretty gross, though.
Yeah, but that's fair game. That's fair game because, you know, then you can say, well, then don't put your hand over the mouth to try to restrict breathing. That's considered dirty fight. No, it's fair game. And so is bleeding. If you've got a massive wound or whatever, and you can drip it in your opponent's eyes, I'm doing that. I'm not going to go, well, let me lean over here so I don't get it in his eyes because that's dirty. You know, the fish hooking, yes, that's dirty fighting. Nut shots, yes, that's dirty fighting. But you know, I don't agree with the blood thing because that can get everywhere and anywhere. And even if he did it on purpose, I would do it if I was in a fight. You know, especially of that caliber. Fish hooking, no, not about that. But it was a great fight. Here's my opinion on Chandler, Nando, and then you give me your opinion. We already know Poirier's great. Chandler, I don't think he'll ever become champion. I don't think that he has what it takes to be a UFC champion. I think he'll always be out in the top 10 for as long as he wants to be there. But I don't think he's championship material because he seems to, even though he wrestled a little bit more in this fight, he seems to have that same, you know, fight style. He gasses out and he gets hit a lot. Your thoughts?
He goes for broke. He goes for broke every time. That's similar to Frankie Edgar in the sense that there's no, like, his style is not going to translate. He's got to change his style of him getting older. Because he's got probably 2 more fights fighting like that, and then he's going to start slowing down. And then what got him to the dance? He's got to change his dance moves. You know what I mean? He's got to, like, kind of pick his shots a little better. Maybe be wide open, but be like a Chad Mendes.
No,
like throw those big punches. Yeah, Chad Mendes used to pick people up, slam them. You know,
that's a great analysis. You know,
there's a lot of stuff that Michael Chandler. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was saying, you know, Chad Mendes, he made his style. He put a couple more years in the tank, and I think that's what Michael Chandler needs to do. He needs to pick up people and slam them, and then smother them, but not go out there berserker because he leaves his face open.
Well, for some reason he could not close that. He was in good position for a rear naked choke, but he could not close that deal for some reason. It was he couldn't get the hooks in, or something was going on. Because even Poirier post game or post fight show, he said, "Not again," you know. And then he sang that song, "Hello, Darkness, my old friend." He thought he was going to go out, but but it didn't even look like Chandler was close when he was maneuvering the arms and trying to get into position. It didn't look like he was even close to finishing that move. Okay, let's move on to the women's strawweight co-main event, and that was Carla Esparza with Weili Zhang, and it was as you predicted. I picked Carla, and Weili is too freaking strong, man. And I'm gonna eat crow on this one, and you're gonna be proud of this, Fernando. Okay, I'm gonna eat crow because I said, watch Weili panic when Carla gets her in compromising positions. There was no panic. And her wrestling, Henry Cejudo did work some magic on her wrestling because she spun out and she reversed Carla. Those transitions were beautiful.
Yeah, I think it might be. I don't know what Carla does. She's beat all the title contenders except Rose. And I think when you get a elite striker that's aggressive, that does not feed well into Carla. But when someone is more reluctant, like Rose, she's Rose's kryptonite. But Rose, I don't know. Watching that, I said before Rose is Weili's kryptonite, but I don't know if she can do that again.
Yeah.
Weili's moving up, and she's looking real good. I don't know if Rose wants that. I mean, she might want to fight her. She might just wait, let Weili fight either Yan, was that her name, Yan, or the winner. Who was the winner of the last women's fight?
Oh yeah, I know. It
Lemos,
Lemos,
and the other one. I think Lemos didn't win though. I think it was Rodriguez.
I don't think they'll give. I don't think they'll give Rose the next title shot. I think they're going to give an up and comer because they got to start grooming their new champions and their new contenders too. They got to give them shots. So I think they're going to throw one or two of them at Weili. But she looks spectacular, man. And then let's talk about the main event, middleweight championship. We have Israel Adesanya versus Alex Pereira. I picked Alex, and I was proud to do so. And who did you pick?
It's Izzy. I picked Izzy. I don't know. I don't know if Izzy's. This also might be a kryptonite situation because I don't know. I thought Izzy. I didn't agree with everybody else. I thought Izzy was reluctant. He was scared. He was moving back the whole time. He was winning by points, but I think he was slowly losing confidence. And he was like, all I need is like 3 more minutes. All I need is like 3 more minutes. But he said afterwards that he had something wrong with his leg and his movement wasn't what it was. And then he said his leg gave out. I think that was the 4th round when he fell back on his back. So, I mean, that might be because his movement he wasn't moving side to side. He was moving kind of like, and he was leaving himself wide open. I was like, he's going to get hit behind the ear or he's going to get an illegal shot, but that's going to be the end for him because he's not going to be able to come back.
Well, I think, yeah, and it was definitely that Pereira kick that stunned his leg. And the thing with me was that did affect his lateral movement, like you said. But I also was noticing how Pereira was he was cutting him off pretty good. He wasn't chasing him around. He was like a half step wherever Izzy was trying to transition to. It was a half step right there, and it cut him short. He couldn't like escape all the way out and then run around and then get into another position. Pereira just kept moving forward, and he was just that half step, man. I'm like, that is smart. But all the talk is on all the podcasts and everything is the advice that his corner gave him on round number 5, right? 5 minutes, throw everything else away. This is 5 minutes for you to become champion. And again, like you said, this could be Adesanya's kryptonite, just like what's his name? Who's come on, the guy from
Oh,
Australia.
Colby? Oh no.
No,
Oh, you're talking about Volkanovski and Max Holloway?
no. The guy who can't win Adesanya. What's his name? It just left me.
Oh, Whitaker.
Whitaker. Thank you. Whitaker. He's not going to beat Adesanya. I don't think he'll ever beat Adesanya. But same with Pereira. Even though he was winning, on the scorecards and everything, that doesn't matter. If you get knocked out like Usman did, you're the loser. And he's lost 3 times to Pereira, and that's going to weigh heavily on his brain if they meet again.
Yeah. I don't know what they do. He says he's fighting Alex again, no matter what, if Alex has the title or if he doesn't have the title. He's got to get leg surgery. So I don't know, like matchup wise, Whitaker doesn't seem too excited about it. He wants to get the title back, but he's like, this guy's a giant. This guy shouldn't be allowed in this weight class. I'll fight him if I have to, but man, I'll be honest, this guy's pretty big and I don't want to be knocked unconscious. That doesn't seem very confident going for the title.
Well, I think they're saying that if a top 5 wrestler comes up against Alex, they'll beat him, and that may be, but you got to get past that left hook first, though. You got to get past that, man. And if he tags you with it, you're going down.
Yeah, you're gonna have to start pressuring him right in the beginning.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on. We've got a fight night card on November 19th. It is Lewis versus SPIVAC. And this card is an interesting card, to say the least. And we're going to run through, because we're going to be short on time. We really wanted to do the recap for 281, but we're just going to run through the prelims real quick and mention them. And Fernando, if you got anything, spit it out. Otherwise, we'll just keep moving. First off, women's flyweight bout, we have Natalia Silva versus Teresa Bleda. And there's no odds on that one.
Let me just say something about this one real quick. This is a good fight because Teresa is 6-0 and Natalie is on a 7-fight win streak, and she has 5 arm bars in a row. So I mean that's going to be a good fight.
And it is Teresa's debut into the UFC as well.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Brady Highstand versus Fernie Garcia. No odds on that one listed, and they're both from the United States. What you got on that?
I got Fernando is 10-2. He has his last loss. Brady is 5-2, 3 of 5 last loss. So they're both coming off of losses.
Okay. I'm going to pick on this one because I've seen Brady fight. I'm picking Brady on this one.
I'm going to pick the boy with the same name as me. Going for Fernando. I don't like his nickname. I've never liked people calling me Fernie, so I'm going for Fernando. We call you
Nando.
Yeah, I'm going for Nando in this one.
All right. Sounds good. Next up, we have Vanessa De Paulos versus Maria Oliveira. We've got a plus 100 for Vanessa and a minus 120 for Maria. Both coming off of wins. What you got on this?
Vanessa's last win, she had Yin Yu Fry. She's from Fight Ready, which is what's his name? Cejudo's camp. She's 8 of 4, 3 of 5. Maria's 13 of 5, 3 of 5. She has a last win. And there's a 10-year difference between Vanessa and Maria.
Yeah, and I'm gonna choose, because of that 10-inch reach advantage, I'm gonna choose Maria on that one.
Okay. No, I'll go with Maria also.
Okay. Next, we have Ricky Turcios versus Kevin Natividad. And we've got a minus 155 for Ricky and a plus 135 for Kevin. What you got on that one?
Ricky is 11 of 3 of the last 5. He has a last win. Kevin is 9 of 3, 3 of 5. He has 2 losses in a row, which isn't good, but he's on the prelims. He's got to get out there and win some fights.
And Ricky is a tough winner, correct?
I don't know. I don't think I wrote that down, but yeah, I think you might be right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's a tough winner. And he's a good fighter. He doesn't quit, man. That dude's got a lot of dog in him. A lot of dog. So I'm going to pick Ricky on that one. Who do you got?
I'll go with Ricky also.
Okay. I'm glad you're thinking in the right way this time.
Okay. I didn't do too well last week. Gotta mix it up.
Next up, we have Vince Morales versus Miles Johns. And we've got a plus 125 for Morales and a minus 145 for Johns. What you got there?
Johns is 12 of 2. He's 2 of 5. He has a last loss. Vince is 11-6, 2 of 5. And he has a last loss that was a decision. So I'm going to go with Miles is 20 and Vince is 32. So there's a big age difference in a lot of these fights.
That's huge.
I'm gonna go with Miles in this one.
I'm gonna go with you on that one, and precisely for that, because a 12-year age difference. But plus, Johns looks jacked, man. All right, next up we have Jennifer Maia versus Marina Moros. And we've got a plus 150 for Maia and a minus 175 for Moros. What do you have there?
Okay, Jennifer Maia is 34. She's ranked 8. This is a ranked fight. 19 of 9, 2 of 5. She lost to Mariana Font and Caitlin Jokagan. She's shoot boxing. Mariana Monroe is 31. She's 15, so she's trying to get in that top 10. She's 11 of 3, 3 of 5. She has 3-fight win streak. She's a coach for the women's Ukrainian boxing team. So, I mean, she's got good hands. With that difference, though, I don't know. I think I favor Jennifer Maia because she can kick, and she's from a pretty prestigious kickboxing academy, shoot boxing. So what is your choice?
I'm going to go with Moros because the only thing I'd be nervous, because when you're fighting a Brazilian or a Dagestani, you worry about the wrestling, you worry about the jiu-jitsu for the Brazilians. But I don't see Jennifer Maia using a lot of jiu-jitsu in her fights. So I think it's going to be mainly a stand-up fight. And looking at the reach, there's a 3-inch reach advantage for Moros. I'm going to go with her on based on that criteria.
Okay.
All right. Next up, we have Charles Johnson versus Zolgas Zermagalov. And we've got a minus 155 for Charles Johnson, which surprises me. That's pretty cool. Plus 135 for Zalgas. And that's a tricky one. To me, that's a coin toss, but I want to hear your breakdown, and that might help me decide. Go ahead.
Well, Charles Johnson's 31. He's 11 of 4. He's 4 of 5. He has a last loss. Zalgas is 14 and 7, 1 of 5. He's American top team. He has 2 losses in a row. So I didn't watch the video on this one, but just by the stats, I don't know. I'd probably go with, I like American top team. I think they prepare their fighters fairly well. So I'm going to go with Zalgas.
Okay. I'm going to go with Johnson on this one. And we're going to see. Somebody's going to be doing the walk of shame. I got a feeling.
Oh, really?
It might be both of us because most of ours are the same. All right. Next up, we have Jack Della Maddalena versus Danny Roberts. We've got, whoa, that's a huge spread. We got a minus 450 for Jack and a plus 360 for Danny. What you got?
Jack is 12 of 2. He's on a 12-fight winning streak. So he lost his 2 fights, and then he just came out guns a-blazing. Danny Roberts is 35. He's 18 of 6. He's 2 of 5. His loss was to Francisco Trinaldo. I didn't get to see this right before we started, so I'm gonna go with the hype on this one.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Jack. Those odds are in his favor, but I've seen him fight before. He's pretty tough guy. He can take some punishment too. And you can tell if you look at the picture of him, his nose is already over here to the side of his face. So he's not worried about breaking that nose again. All right, next up, we have Andre Fiallo versus Muslim Salikov. Salikov. And we've got a minus 105. So this one's pretty close for Andre and a minus 115 for Muslim. What do you got there?
Andre Fiallo is 28. He's 16-5. He's 3-5. He lost to Jake Matthews, but he's got a fast pace. He fights upright like a Dutch kickboxer. So he goes forward and then he kicks like kind of like straight taekwondo kicks, which I like. Muslim Salkov is 38, 18-3, 4-5. American top team. His last loss was the Leech. The Leech is a really tough guy. He doesn't get enough credit, but he needs to wrestle early and stop the pace of Andre. Do I think that's going to happen? I don't think so. I think Andre's got the better style. It's the people with the Muay Thai where their kicks come from the side are easy to be taken down. The ones right down the middle, it's a little harder to grab somebody when the kick is coming right to your stomach, opposed to people that do kicks to the legs. A lot of the Dutch kickboxing is kicks to your liver, to your kidneys, to your stomach, you know. All right, let's see what you
They're both coming off of losses. I like both of their styles. They are quite different in their fighting style. So I think it's a great matchup by the UFC and putting these two guys together. This one is wow. It is super tight. Another coin flip on this one, but I'm gonna go with Muslim on this one because I think if what you said, if he can get him down to the ground early in the fight should be his.
Okay.
Who are you going for?
I'm going for Andre.
Okay, here we go. He's like, guys, you viewers out there, he always does this. Okay, what am I doing? There we go. Okay, he always does this. He lures me in like, okay, hey, we're finally on the same page, and then all of a sudden he goes, yeah. But we'll see. Gosh darn it.
Okay.
All right, next up we have Chase Sherman versus Waldo Cortez Acosta. We have a plus 155 for Chase and a minus 180 for Acosta. Now this one was rescheduled because they were supposed to be, I think, on the last fight card, right?
It was one of them. Yeah, I had the piece of paper. I couldn't find it, but yeah, I'm pretty sure they were already supposed to fight.
Yep.
Or they both fought Jared Vandera, and they both beat him. But yeah, I think they were supposed to fight maybe the last one before this, or the one where, what was the Allen one? I think they were supposed to fight.
Yep. Who do you got on this one?
Okay, Waldo, I like a lot. He's 8-0. He has decision. He's a crazy striker. Chase Sherman's 32, 16-10, 4-5, Sanford MMA. He has a win over Jared too. A loss to Andre Arlovsky. I think he slugs it out too much. He gets in there and he gets hit, and then he just starts wailing these punches. And he beat Jared that way, but I don't think he's beating Waldo that way. Well, Waldo, I like his punches. He kind of leans forward and punches hard, but he moves back. There's people that go forward, boom, 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 these punches, but he goes forward, back, and I like that. He doesn't keep his head there so he can get punched.
Well, you just convinced me. I agree with you on that because I was, watching Waldo's last fight. That was a close call. I think that decision could have went either way. But I do like his style. And, you know, Chase, I believe Chase has been cut by the UFC a couple of times and has worked his way back.
Yeah, I think that's what
That
we
tells,
talked about last time.
that tells you a lot about his heart, you know, and his willingness to sacrifice to get back to the premier fighting organization. But I think Waldo has got, he's a lot fresher. Everything about him is fresher. And so I'm going to go with Waldo on that one.
Okay.
Next up, we have Kennedy Nchukwu and Ion Kudilaba. And we've got a minus 170 for Kennedy and a plus 145 for Ion. And what you got there?
Ion is 28. He's 16 of 8. He's 11. Well, no, he's one win, one no contest, and 3 losses. 2 losses in a row. Johnny Walker, Ryan Spann. He has a win over Devin Clark. He's from MMA Factor. He's not good against really elite strikers, but I don't know. Kennedy is 30, 10 of 3, 3 of 5. He has the last win. But he kind of has a slower style. I don't know if that's gonna he kind of picks his shots. He's out of Dallas also, like Derek Lewis, but he doesn't fight at the same camp. But I don't know. I think Ian's gonna be able to catch him.
Okay. Yeah, he's definitely a faster starter. My thing is for I'm going to go with Kennedy because he's got a really long jab and he uses it well, even though he's not as fast. But his reach is 8 inches on Kudilaba and 6-inch reach on the legs. So I think Kudilaba is going to have to get in, fight in the phone booth, right? To get this guy out of there. But I think if Kennedy can keep him at range, he should be able to pick him apart and start to drive those jabs to where they're starting to affect Kudilaba and the leg kicks too. So I'm going to go with Kennedy on that one. Okay, now we're to the main bout. That's a heavyweight bout. And we've got Derek the Black Beast Lewis versus Sergey Spivak. We've got a plus 165 for Derek, and he is usually an underdog in his fights with a minus 195 for Sergey. What do you got there?
So Sergey's not ranked, but this is a fight he wants to get ranked in. He's 27, 15-3, 4 of 5, 2 wins over. He has Greg Hardy. I don't know what the other one was. Lost to Tom Aspinall. Good wrestling, good pressure. Now Derek Lewis needs to get a win. He says he needs money. He needs these fights. He's ranked 7th. He's still ranked 7th with loss to Sergey Pavlov, Tai Tuivasa, and Cyril Gane, which are top of the.
So he's lost 4 in a row?
No, 3 in a row.
Okay.
The Sergey Pavlov, Tai Tuivasa, and Cyril Gane. He's 26-10. He's 2 of 5 right now. But I think he's like, man, I cannot fight in Texas anymore. You cannot do this to me anymore. I can't. I have my family and friends, they want me to go to a cookout before the fight. They're all in my locker room. You know what I mean? I can't like, I'm playing host to these fights. So they got him in the Apex, and I think that's good for him. I think he's going to go in there. He knows he's got to knock this guy out. I think he's got enough time to do it. And I'm going to go with the Black Beast.
Oh, my goodness. And I'm going with Sergey. Sergey, one thing I've noticed about the Beast lately in his fights, and, the last 3 losses too, is he'll get hurt. And when he gets hurt, he doesn't come back. He usually balls up. He'll turtle up. And then they start wailing on him. But I've seen that 3 times in a row where he gets hurt and then he turtles up. Now, he used to do that effectively, turtle up and play possum and then come out with an uppercut that knocked people out. I don't think that's happening anymore for Derek Lewis, man. They'll keep him around even if he loses this fight. They'll keep him around because he's very entertaining. People love to watch him. He's great on the mic, super fun to watch. but I don't think they're going to keep him around too much longer after that. They're not going to do a smiley, smiling Elvie, with him and let him rack up that many losses. But I think he's going to lose to Sergey because Sergey is super, super hungry. Like you said, he wants to get into that top 10 and prove himself. And that dude is a machine, man. He's not the most graceful, most technical, but he's a machine, and his heart, it rises above everything else. Because I've seen him get hurt, and he comes back. He's like, "All right, you're gonna hurt me. I'm hurting you." Where Derek is just the opposite. You hurt him, he's just like covering up. So that's how I see it finishing. I see it a TKO or knockout for SPIVAC.
Okay.
All right, that is the card, guys, and we did it in time. We made good time today, Nando.
Oh yeah.
We want you guys to continue to share. We're seeing our views go up a little bit, and we're grateful for that. So thank you for tuning in to Knuckle Sandwich MMA. And we've got the holidays coming up. Even if there's no fights going on, we're gonna continue to do our weekly podcast to not only maintain consistency, but also to talk about other things. So if there's not a fight, we're going to be breaking down some other aspect of the MMA game for you guys, so that hopefully you can learn a little bit more and have fun in the process. And I think that's all I have to say. What's your parting words, Nando?
I think this fight's going to be a good one. The one coming up is they're stacking these pay-per-views. The next pay-per-view is Glover versus Yuri.
Yeah.
There's some good fights on there. Hopefully we'll see John Jones next year. I mean, it's been 4 years. I don't think, I don't know what they're doing with him. I'd like to see, who do you think's coming back and fighting first? John Jones or Connor?
Neither.
They're both done.
Yep.
They're just using them for their name.
Yep. They're not coming back because Connor can't make 155. He's put on way too much muscle. And
they should put Connor versus Chris Weidman. Two people with broken legs.
Hey, Chandler wants Connor bad, but he can't make it that weight. He'd have to fight at 170.
I think Gamrot called him out.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's a good idea.
We're going to get cut off here real quick, guys, but I do want to express our condolences from Knuckle Sandwich MMA to Anthony Johnson.